Hiroto Kyoguchi, man, what a performance. And we've been touting this guy for a while on this channel. However, he went into like a 15-month break, unfortunately, has been inactive. And that's why I was worried about this fight for him going into Mexico to fight Esteban Bermudez, who was a top 10 guy at 108 and a tough cookie, as you saw in this fight. Just tough dude who lost a lot of blood in this fight and just kept coming forward. And the referee had to stop the fight because Bermudez just was not going to stop on his own. But Kyoguchi punch placement, punch selection is just, I mean, it's up there with some of the best in the game. And a guy, once again, that if he wasn't a 108-pounder, if this guy was a 135-pounder, people would be talking about him a lot more. He's a guy who is legitimately, if he gets more active, a top 20, top 25 pound-for-pound guy in the sport, and a growing number of Japanese fighters who just, as the world gets smaller, as we have more access to fighters in other parts of the world with these apps, DAZN and such, and also as we become more accustomed to watching fighters in lower weight classes. And by the way, I'm starting a new segment on this channel called Lightweight Kings, and I'll be featuring fighters like Hiroto Kyoguchi that people just don't know as much of because of the weight classes they perform in. But as we have more access to fighters such as this, we'll have more of an appreciation of what they're doing, and we'll see more guys like this on the pound-for-pound list, because Japanese is right now a hotbed. You got guys like Inoue, you got guys like Ioka, Nakatani, and Kyoguchi, amongst others in the lower weight classes, who are just giving us entertaining fights, but at the same time, high technical level of boxing. And what we saw with Kyoguchi last night is a guy who, those uppercuts, I mean, his uppercuts are up there with the great uppercut punchers in the sport. He was throwing those bus driver uppercuts on Bermudez in this fight, just finding those punches, and then both fighters were just trying hard to come forward in this fight off the front foot, and that's why you had a lot of head clashing, a lot of headbutts. You saw and this is what's tough about going on the road and trying to win, trying to defend belts on the road, trying to win titles on the road. And you've seen 2 straight weekends of Japanese champions trying to defend their titles on the road. Last weekend, Ogawa did it and was unsuccessful. Kyoguchi this week was successful. It's difficult because you have the deck stacked against you, and you have to do this more in the lower weight classes because you don't have as much leverage as a big name fighter in the lower weight classes. So he goes on the road, was battling the judges because he was up 1 point on 2 of the judges' scorecards at the time of the stoppage and down 1 on the other. And then he was also battling against a referee who took 2 points away from him, 1 for a rapid punch and 1 for a headbutt, which Bermudez was the one I thought coming in more with his head first in this fight. So they were trying to stack the deck against him in Mexico, and you saw Kyoguchi take matters into his own hands going into the 8th round and just letting his hands go and stopping this fight, because I think he sensed that something was off and that they were stacking the deck against him. So props to Kyoguchi, the uppercuts, the combination punching, the power punching, the body punching. You get everything from this guy, and entertainment value as well. So Kyoguchi, another guy to watch. I just hope they keep him more active than fighting once a year. Let's get this guy in the ring 2-3 times a year. And the more access we have to these fighters, the better for the sport, because the lower weight classes are hot right now. And 108, I can't help but think, though, if Bam Rodriguez, after the Soro and Vise fight, were to drop back down to 108, I think Kyoguchi has a style that he would be open to a lot of Bam's punches. And I think that style would favor Bam more if they were to fight each other. But that's a fight I'd love to see in the future. But right now, Kyoguchi is the cream of the crop at 108 and a guy to continue to look out for. God bless. Peace.